Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Niall Lynn and I have no makeup on because this is a beauty tutorial about bad lighting and good makeup and how we can combat bad lighting with good makeup. So if you're an actress or a person that spends a lot of time on camera, this is for you. Or if you're just going to a holiday party and you want to look your best on camera when people snap pictures of you, pay attention. So this is my face with no makeup on, but good lighting. I am standing in front of my vanity that has 4 bulbs on each side. Now one of the bulbs is out, but it doesn't make that big of a difference. Now look at this. As soon as I turn the lights off, all of a sudden, not so good. So I look like I have big dark circles under my eyes and I just look kind of dreadful with bad lighting. The other bad lighting, now this, I still have an overhead light because I wanted to be able to show you guys, like when you go under an overhead light, it creates shadows. And I'll show you that even more extreme here by opening up my husband's cell phone and using the flashlight and showing you, like if you have really bad lighting over top, it makes you look like you have big bags under your eyes. You can see my angry 11, which is that little line right there, right? And these look even worse. And then underneath lighting can look really awful and make you look like you have big bags under your eyes too. But if you get the light really good, oh, that looks fabulous. So like bad lighting is really, it can really make a difference. So good lighting is a girl's best friend. Now, we can't always light ourselves properly, or someone else is lighting us, and or we're doing an audition and the lighting in the audition room is awful. And what can we do with our makeup to combat that? Now, we could carry a bounce board with ourselves, right? And so if you are not an actress, you might not know what a bounce board is. So let me show you what a bounce board is. A bounce board, and if you're doing an indie film, like, you know, with your friends or whatever, definitely grab one of these. I mean, nobody's going to be offended if you bring it, if it's like a little production, right? So this, you can see if you bounce it, right? You bounce the light, it fills in. Oh, more light. That is your friend. Less light. More light. I can't see it. Oh, where is it? You'll see it when it hits. And then it fills in any wrinkles or lines. So that's a silver one. People with warmer skin tones look good with gold, or if you're doing like a hair light for a blonde, it's good to have like gold back there. You can also use just a plain white board, and that'll bounce, right? That'll bounce some light up. See? Bouncing light. There we go. Let's try this silver one again. Okay. Bouncing light. So the overhead light's not so bad when you have the light, the bounce board in the right spot. If the bounce board isn't in the right spot, or if you don't hit your mark correctly, you could end up with bad lighting. The other thing you can do is wear white clothing, right? So I wouldn't wear all white on camera because, you know, it can pull too much focus. But if you put this underneath something and you have the white right near your face, it can bounce a little bit of light up near your face. So a little bit of light clothing. And then there's the makeup. Okay. So the first thing that I usually do is prime my face. Now I grabbed this primer at the beauty supply. There's all kinds of different primers that you can get. This is just one that I grabbed. I also like the mattifying primer from MAC. There's an e.l.f. primer that I love that is hydrating. So I would prime all over my face. And primer fills in the pores and smooths out the skin. It also feels really nice when you put it on. And this one actually smells good. So I would just prime everything. Now, I don't need to put extra moisturizer on my skin when I'm on camera because I'm already going to sweat underneath the lights. I do moisturize daily, but if I'm going on camera, I don't need extra moisturizer. So if you're doing makeup and you're doing a client, ask them, are you normal to oily or normal to dry? If it's a person who's dry, you might want to put more moisture on them. But if they're normal to oily like I am, you're not going to want to put extra moisture. So I'm putting a little bit of extra primer right under the eye area to fill that in and smooth it out. I'm just going to let that set. So the traditional under eye concealer idea is like take a nice light color and put it under that area, right? Something really light. But let me show you what happens when you do that. If I take this, put this under here and all the way up here, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to cover this, right? I'm going to cover this bag area, right? If I do it with a light color, now you could use a brush or whatever. This is my makeup, so I'm just using it with my finger. That actually is making that worse and making that stand out more. That's not what you want. You do not want to highlight an area that you want to hide. Right? So think about it as light. makeup is telling the camera lights where to go. You don't want to focus on this area. You want to maybe have a shiny glossy lip, right? So that you can focus on the lip area. Let's just use, that's a red. I don't want to use that because too much focus. But you can just have a regular clear gloss on the lip. All of a sudden the smile steals focus. If you highlight here, not good. What you want to do is use a darker color here. So there's different ways to do this. I have two Cinema Secret palettes here. Here's one of them, and here's another one. This is this color. It's an old one, so you might not be able to find it. So if you need to find the foundation from Cinema Secrets is this, or any other darker concealer, maybe even the Laura Mercier palette here with the darker salmon color. This is a little bit of a salmon color right here. So you want to put a darker color right here on the puff to make it go back and away, and that'll flatten things out. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to grab this brush, or maybe this one. Yeah, smaller one. I'm going to take this Cinema Secret color. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to put, sorry about the sirens, I live in Manhattan. I'm going to put darker concealer right here. So I'm making it go back. And I can actually do the whole eye with this. Now, a lot of times on set, they'll airbrush you, and then do the do a little concealer at the end. So they're doing the whole eye area anyway with the airbrush. A lot of times it's hitting that. It depends on the artist. So you could actually put this darker Cinema Secrets all over, because you're gonna bring up the eye later, like highlight here and everything with eyeshadow. So you can actually use this all over here and just really flatten out that eye. So you see the difference already? It's flatter. Now I'm leaving it extreme so you can see with that darker color there. And then you're just going to want to blend it. Now normally I would not do this first, especially if I'm doing a client. I would actually do my eyeshadow first, and I would prep and prime the eye with the eyeshadow primer, and then do the eyeshadow, especially if I was doing a lot of eyeshadow. But today I'm just doing a clean look, so I'm not going to do that. And the reason why I would do the eyeshadow first is because of the fact that a lot of it will fall out, and then you'll have to redo the eye. So again, I'm just covering all of this, thoroughly covering it. Covering, covering, covering. Making it go back, back, back. And you can see the difference. So this looks big and like it's sticking out, and then that looks covered. And so people will think, oh, let's just highlight. Yeah, highlight this because we need like some brightness underneath here. No, the brightness should go on your cheek. I'm going to do this again just so you can see the extreme difference of what happens. Now this isn't done yet. I know it looks a little discolored. So you can see when you turn off the lights, right? This is now looking like a much bigger bag here than this is because this has been pushed back. Same here. So this has been pushed back, right? And it doesn't look as bad. And this is like all focus is like right here, like, oh my God, underneath the eye. And it just looks really puffy and big. And this one goes back. And then we can tell we can do a little shadow where we want to have focus, right? So you can see the difference already. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so I'm going to do them two different sides. Going to continue. Let's just continue. You see this Laura Mercier palette. It's the same sort of idea. You put the darker colors and the lighter. I'm not going to use this because I don't want you to think you have to have like 50 million different products. That was a regular CoverGirl concealer on this side, a Cinema Secrets on this side. You can use any dark color on this side. You can even use Sand Elf, or you can use a dark color from the Laura Mercier palette, or any other dark color that you have. Okay, so I'm going to go to this Elf so that I can show you the blending, right? So this is Elf in Sand, and I would actually put that here too. Could put that over that. You don't need to put this here, but I'm just going to use this in other areas of my face so that you can see. Different things you can do. So I'm putting this around in the areas that we want to shade, right? And it's just a little darker, as you can see, and contour. And then I would take a big brush and blend it in. And it warms up the skin, flattens out that eye. You see the difference? This looks huge. You can contour the nose with this. You can do this with your Cinema Secret palette too. Just getting rid of everything. And then if I want to add some light to this concealed eye, right? Conceal, think dark. Conceal with the dark. Highlight with the light. There's lots of different ways of doing this, but this is just one of them. Now I can put powder over that. Now I would probably put like a loose setting powder, right? Or I can still highlight a little bit, but I can also highlight with powder. So if you want to use this highlighter, you could use it right here underneath, but you don't want to get anywhere near that, anywhere near the wrinkles or any sort of the puff. So you could use this highlighter like just a little bit right here, right? That's what that's for. Hopefully you're like, oh my gosh, I've been doing it all wrong. Thank you for showing me. So that you can highlight the cheekbone right there, right? That's one way of highlighting the cheekbone. Now the other thing you can do with this is like, you know, if you want the nose highlighted here, I don't know if I did that straight because I'm a little bit off. I don't have my glasses on. A lot of times, because I don't have glasses on, I will do my makeup with a really big mirror, you know, that magnifies. I don't see it out. So you can put this here. You can highlight your Cupid's bow here. These are things you want to highlight, right? So highlight is great for things that you actually want to use it for. I don't actually need highlight on the tip of my nose. Some people like to make their nose look upturned, but mine already does that. So that's how you use the highlighter. Then this highlighter, you could also, so don't throw your highlighters out. You can also do this like right at the top of the brow here, right? And you could actually put it here. And you could actually use it here to, you know, sort of open that up just a little bit. So there are things to use the highlighter for, but it is not to put on the under eye. All right, so we were going to powder. Just take a regular brush here and set it with a regular powder. Just lightly set it. You don't want to like cake up the face, but you do want a little bit of powder there to set it because you don't want the face to be dewy and shiny on camera. That's a red carpet look. That's not like for on-camera acting. Dewy and shiny is like a fashion thing, you know. On camera, you want the actor's eyes to shine, their smile to shine, and that's it. You don't want the rest of their face to shine. So you always want to go over with a little bit of powder and seal all of that. And we can do the same powder on this side, and then I'll show you in the bad lighting the difference between these two. So that's like a HD powder, loose powder that you can, different companies make different ones. This one's from e.l.f. If you don't have like that stuff, you're not a makeup artist, and you're just using like, let's say your CoverGirl compact, I would use it with a brush and not necessarily use this. Now this you could put maybe on your nose. Like I get really shiny on my nose and I need extra coverage there, or chin, or something like that, or like this always gets really shiny because I have such a massive forehead. But if you're doing it under the eye, you don't want to really cake it up with that, so just do a little bit here. And that seals it. Then when you add your eyeshadow, you can tell the camera where to focus. But let's see this in different light. Let's see. So bad lighting here. So you can see this eye looks worse because we've highlighted this area, so it pops out and it looks like a massive bag when really it's not that bad, right? And then this one has gone back and flattened out. I mean, it's still bad with bad lighting, because what can you do? Bad lighting's bad lighting. There's only so much you can do. So you can see in these different areas where it still creates like a shadow and everything. So you want a bounce board. You know, you can bring one with you. Or make sure you hit your mark, or just ask. You know, obviously on a big set, you're just going to want to do your lines and not ask a bunch of questions. So try to combat it in other areas, drink lots of water, all that stuff, get lots of sleep. But that can be challenging during audition season and on camera. So hopefully that'll help you with these little tips. I'm just going to finish up my face and you can watch. Where was I at? Let's see, I had powder. Oh, I would then get my Smashbox palette out, which is this. And there's a whole nother video on this that I'll link below. I would get my Smashbox palette out and do some contour and highlight. So I would probably take this light powder here and just highlight right there, right? That's what you want to highlight, the nice apple of the cheek. And then I would contour here. And I would contour my forehead. And I would contour my nose. And I would contour my chin. A little bit. Little highlight that's still in there on the Cupid's bow in here. And you can add light to any area here. I mean, this is extreme, right? Probably don't want too much of that on camera, because it gets to be too much after a while. Then I would warm this up with this. These are the two darker colors. And just shading the face. Now, if I was just running out the door and I didn't want to do like a lot of eyeshadow, sometimes I just take the contour and just put a little bit there and a little bit there. Because then it looks super natural and it's totally blended in. And it's like a no makeup look. And then I would just pop a little mascara on and run out the door. And you can see how, in the good lighting, this side is okay. It bounces. It's okay. It looks nice because all the light's reflecting off of there into the eye, right? But if we go for bad lighting, I have a fuzzy on my face. You can see that looks really bad because it's highlighted. So it pops out, whereas this goes back. And so it makes it look like a bigger bag than this side. You could still use a little, like it's good to, if you're experimenting, right? And you want to figure out like, oh, where's the bad lighting going to hit me? All right, the bad lighting's going to hit me right there. So I need more coverage right there. You see that? Now we could maybe just put a little bit of, let's see if we can do Cinema Secrets right there. And you're like, where's the bad lighting? Where is it? You could do your makeup in bad lighting, which is kind of hard to do. Let's see if you can cover that. Let's see if we can get it to cover. Let's see what we can do about it, you know? See, this is why you don't want it shiny. See how it pulls focus from the eye? You don't want it shiny. Makes no sense to have it shiny. You flatten it out. Let's see what we can do. A little better. Still gets in the dip. And if you're a makeup artist on set, I don't know, if it's a small set, you might be able to talk to the lighting guy and be like, hey, can we get a little bit more bounce in there? so my makeup doesn't look dreadful. You know, I wouldn't say it like that. I would say, hey, is it okay if we bounce a little bit more light up underneath her eyes? You know, because there's nothing wrong with the actress looking pretty unless she's playing the keeper of the crypt. Okay, so let's go back to good lighting. Ah, don't you love it? Lighting is a girl's best friend. Thanks for tuning in. This is Niall Lynn. Have a beautiful day. Break a leg at your next audition.